It's called a long drop toilet or pit latrine. We had an official opening. My sister Katie, we had some toilet roll draped across there, and she cut it with scissors and was the first to use it. And we all politely wandered off. It's basically a deep hole in the ground. This one's about 2 metres deep, about 50 centimetres wide. And you basically slowly fill it up. And after you've been, just put a scattering of sawdust on over the top and keep the any paper or anything else separate in another bin. And when it's about 2 foot from the top, we move it. We put a plug in and move it not that far. I mean, it's heavy, so it's best if you've got one person on each corner, but that's the design, so you just pick it up, preferably with nobody in there. But they're dotted around this area, so it will be very fertile one day around here. Look, there's one here that's an old one, evidence of an old one. You leave it in the ground, to Pete, my mate, the organic farmer, he said it will be a very fertile spot, probably the most fertile spot in the field in a few years. Reading the Olympics, 1896 to 1972. There's about 20-30 centimetres of rich topsoil, sort of with fertile stuff, and then you hit clay, and then you get deeper, you go into about 1 metre down, it gets to be quite dense clay. I started building a clay oven using the clay from here, and when the clay oven was finished, then so was the long drop toilet. We've got some crushed rock as a footing, because it's quite heavy. Then oak supports. Then I put some oak boards down. That's this inch and a bit here. That goes all the way across. And then I made this oak ring here, which is about 6 inches wide. That goes all the way round. And we filled that with clay and sharp sand from the long drop, and then we built it up to just below the level of the firebricks. Then we put the firebricks on the clay, and then we build the mould. The mould is made out of sand. And it is the shape of the void in there. So you basically make your mould to the required shape. There's a formula for the size of the door, the opening, and the height of the oven. And then you build it in 4-inch layers. So the first layer is the layer that holds the heat the most, which is a lot more clay than sand. The next layers have less clay, basically, and they're the insulating layers. So they have sawdust, wood shavings, in this case wood shavings, another 4-inch layer of that, and then I think I did a 2-inch layer of, or it might have been a 4-inch layer of straw and clay and sharp sand, just to give it some strength. And then finally a lime wash, a lime and sand, thin sort of inch layer over the top. I made a form here to shape the clay over. And I think I just used some thin ply, and bent it into that shape. And then when it was all, and then knitted it in with the straw into the main piece. And then when we lit no, we didn't light a fire. We took the sand out, but we waited for it to dry a bit, and then dug the sand out, and then lit a fire and slowly dried it out. A couple of weeks, well, maybe a month later, we were cooking in there. You light your fire at the front here, and gradually move it back, and this obviously sucks air in, gets the fire going. And what the fire does, because it's concave inside, the flames sort of lick round the top and come up, and in theory go over the top of the pizzas. Basically, You just move the coals back with that, push them in. Then you clean the oven floor with the scuffler, sort of, you know. And then I wire brush it quite often and then use the scuffler. And then the pizzas just go in, using the peel, just go in there. If you're cooking bread, you take the fire out and then you close the fire down with that and it keeps the heat in. But obviously I needed to wet that more. But we've cooked, you can slow cook lamb in there if you want. There's cooked a fish in there recently. If you wanted to slow cook overnight, you could. It would still be warm in the morning in there. If you've got really dry hardwood and it's hot, you're hot in there, 2 minutes, no time. Make the dough, obviously roll your pizzas out, put it all on there, put whatever you're having on there, and just lots of flour so it doesn't stick, and then it goes.
Warm like the smell of oven fresh baked bread. You make me feel so good. That haunting melody that's still stuck there in my head. You make me feel so good. Run like a record I go. Try to sing along.